You said we're gonna be digging in the trash this week, but
Digging in the trash with some of
some
these
people,
lines.
we find the gems though. We find the gems in the trash, kind of. Count who trash you picking through, right? Oh man,
Exactly. Some man's
what
trash is another man's treasure. Some man's trash is just trash.
facts? All right, y'all. Big Phillies win.
I love this place. Flat out, I love this place. There's nothing like coming into the bank and playing in front of these fans.
Hey, we just got done the game, so we're on the late night tip. We'll get the plays out to you. You know what time it is.
Showtime!
Welcome everybody back to another episode of MoneyPot Podcast, and the boys are in that maroon red pinstripe. I got something of a pinstripe. I'm coming back from a company meeting. Had to catch the game. Oh, what an ass whooping it was! We won Strider. Bring him on, game 4. Let's go. Phil's 1 win away from the National League Championship matchup, which is looking like is Arizona winning right now? Is Arizona and Dodgers on right now, right? I think.
Yeah, I think Houston might have just finished their series off. I didn't see
Yeah,
what the Dodgers score was.
the Diamondbacks are up 2-0, which is just we talked about it in the
Dang.
chat, man. Arizona is fucking hot. They're about to sweep the fucking Dodgers. So, well, we would have home field advantage, right? With the Diamondbacks, right?
We
Because
would.
they were a wild card team, right? We were number 1 wild card
Yeah.
team.
It'd be a
Yeah,
tough
yeah.
matchup for them too, because I think they were like 23rd or 24th in homers this year, and we know what the Phillies do.
Yeah, yeah, I think it is a tough matchup for them, but I mean, we're a tough matchup for anybody. But hey, we're here to
Just gotta
talk
get through the
college.
Braves.
Yeah, and we're about to cut through them like butter real quick here. We should have finished it today. We should have got game 2, but it is what it is.
Well,
On the game for whatever time it is. And hey, MLB, fix your fucking time schedule. Who fucking watches a game at 5 o'clock? What the fuck are we doing here? But I digress. Let's get to college football. Y'all asked for him. We got him back. He was out a little bit last week, but we got him back. If you don't have one, you need to get yourself one, a professional better. Our guy, my guy. C Sharp, what's up, bro?
man, good to be back on the show for sure. Sorry I missed the last couple weeks.
Yeah, man. They
Good
asked
to
me,
be
where's
back the rest
Sharp
of the
at?
year.
We need Sharp.
I've been trying to put out those
Nowhere.
videos, and I got to show up after that Texas bet. It is what it is. Good for OU.
Yeah, so speaking of the videos, what we do here is Sharp has been really good at getting the early lines out. So if you guys haven't already, you guys have to go follow the show. Go follow us on all social media platforms, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. You will get early lines with Sharp. We are talking about doing an early line kind of show where we're talking about the early lines that drop early so you can get ahead of the number. That's really what key is for Sharp and how he bets. So might call it Sharp's Corner or something like that. Quick 15, 20 minutes. Excuse me, talking about early plays, early shows that we're looking at. Not early shows, early plays and early games that we're looking at, just to give you a head of number and whether to take them now. So we'll see how we'll play it like that. We're already in week 7, so kind of mid here, right? We're kind of in the thick of it, but we always want to keep adding value. So like I said, make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe button. All right. The first thing we always do is kick off and check out the numbers from last week. Excuse me, I think Sharp, I'm missing 1 week from you. I got you up to date, but I think the week before I'm missing 1 week and I got to get NFL set up. But all is good though. For the boys who had an off week last week, Diddy took a hit. Sharp, I added that big teaser to your NFL because it closed on NFL. So
That
that
works.
crossover teaser, since
Yeah.
it closed on NFL, I'm going to count that for your NFL play. So I didn't add that one to yours. But looking at last week for week 6, I went 3-3. Couple of them was close. Colorado almost covered, but they didn't. We all knew about the whole Washington State deal. We just walked the plank in that. Had a teaser. I forgot I had a teaser in there with Kansas State, and they lost outright. I think that was a Thursday or a Friday game. I forget which game it was. And then I forgot I had another teaser that I went back and checked. Texas to win, obviously, and Washington up to plus 10.5, which was a decent bet. So all in all, Michigan helped me out a lot. Michigan was minus like I think it was like 18 and it was it no, it was minus like 31 or something
No,
last week.
Michigan. No, Michigan was 18.5. You got it right.
Was it
Because I put
18?
out the
Okay.
video as well. We both got that. Yeah.
Okay, my bad. It was 18 and a half. Okay, so that I think it was the week before Michigan was probably that big number.
Yeah, it was. Yes.
So hit him, listening to my professional gambler guy says, Nate, you got to pull the trigger a little bit. Let's get some money popping. Let's get some money moving. So I went out a little bit more. So I was up last week because I hit Michigan, which was my best play for 2 units instead of my normal 0.75 or point and a half type plays. So all in all, I was up at least a unit in college football in the week. Brings me up my profit total to over 10 units and still hitting at a 60% clip, which is unreal at this point. In week 7, the fact that I'm still hitting at a 60%, and you'll see how the other guys are following suit and not following suit, leading the pack, is insane. Like I said before, professional bettors typically hover around that 56 to like 58, 59. If you find a professional bettor who is hitting at a 60% clip, that is a good professional bettor. That is a good. He is cooking with grease with all his plays. So I'm not saying I'm a professional bettor, but hey, we doing big things over here. So let's go to Diddy, see what he did. Diddy had an off week. He got smacked up pretty good. He had 6 plays. Washington State got hit. Texas State got hit. He did Kentucky both ways. They both got hit. Ole Miss, he had, I think it was a team total play that got hit. Only one was Michigan. Anywhere you would have played Michigan would have won. So Michigan kind of saved them from not winning. So that brought him down. He was really hot at one point. If you think about it, he went 1-5 last week and still has a 20-12 record. Still hitting 62%, still profitable, and that's what we want to see. So, Diddy's still up and up, and I'm pretty sure he'll bounce back. This was come and do, right? Especially for him, it was come and do. I think he was at like 70%.
When you're that high. I mean, 70%, and that's where I'm at in the NFL, and I'm due for a bad week. I just have a feeling.
Yeah. So we'll move over to Sharp. Like I said, there's a week here missing Sharp that I think your numbers are a little skewed where you're probably up more than the 3.5 units in college. But because I added the teaser, your big teaser that had a 5-unit play to your NFL number because it closed on NFL, you just kind of went even. You took a little hit from the 4 straight plays. Jackson State hit, Michigan hit, Texas was the big one that you lost on. And then you had your supersized teaser that.
And I want to talk on that teaser, man. I would make that again. I talked about it like Washington State. I liked pushing that number up, and it turned out, man, that there was a couple traps in there, and Colorado State was a total trap. The fact that they were only 1.5 favorites, they just get blown out. That was the trap. I walked right into it. That was dumb. That was just dumb.
Yeah, I mean, it happens, brother. We already know. We already know when you're cooking like this, man. It's bound to happen and go back the other way. So, like I said, I'm pretty sure this number is more like 7 or 8 units from your last week plays. But just for now, just for the video right now, still hitting at a great clip. I'm sure you're over 60% because I believe you had a winning last week. I got to go back and get your numbers right.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago. I think was where I had USC first half. That was a good week. I think I went 3-1. I had a good week. Good week 2 weeks ago.
Right, exactly. So we will make sure we'll get those numbers updated. And still, if you ain't betting with your boys, I don't know what to tell you. Across everybody, 13, 6, and we'll just round this up to 5, 11. That is over 20 units, $2,000. If you just bet with us blind, you will be up 20 units or $2,000 if you're using $100 betting size across your number. which is pretty fucking good. All things considering, having an off week and you're still up 2 racks. So if you don't know, get on and hop on a damn money train. Go ahead and follow your boys at MoneyPot Betting on all social media platforms. But off until that was last week. We got a new week coming up. A lot of big games. A lot of things we want to talk about this week. Some weird lines. So let me bring up the handy dandy sports book. Been cooking with DraftKings so far. Some NFL stuff here. Fucking the Ravens. Fucking bums. Can't believe they lost. So many touchdown passes dropped. It's insane. Terrible.
It's
Fucking
just that the way the Steelers win some of their games is truly remarkably predictably ugly, and they just do it. It's just like it's the Mike Tomlin rah rah spot is such a thing. Like division game, they're beat up, no chance to win. Like literally, it's like no, they're gonna block a punt, they're gonna block a field goal, they're also gonna have a strip sack. Like somehow, some way, they just win the ugliest ways. It's truly remarkable that they're consistently can win and play bad football.
Yeah, and I think the thing with Tomlin, and like I said, I don't think he gets enough credit for how good of a coach he is and how good his resume is. I really do think he's up there in the all-time greats, in my opinion. But it's like a weird stat. I forget what the number is, but it's really like crazy. I think he's like 40 something and like 20 as a home dog, like something
Yeah,
ridiculous like that. Like as a home underdog, is he's just like he's just sick at it. So. Um, that's some trends that you just sit there and you just bet blind and you just always on more likely on the right side. So
yeah.
that's one of them. But I watched that game because I was on the Ravens and that was just it was just an ugly game. It's just a bad game.
Hmm.
But college football is up. We have week 7, and we're going to start it off with my first best bet. And I'm looking at it right now, and it is tomorrow. It's a Thursday night game. I'm betting this SMU East Carolina game here, and I got an interesting stat here for you. The teams have played, even though ECU is terrible this year, um, they played 9 times. And believe it or not, I believe if I looked at the number, ECU is up in that all-time record, 5-4. And ECU has kept this game close in damn near every game that they've played. So what I'm doing is I am going with the trend. I'm going with the number. I like ECU here in the first quarter, 3.5 to keep this game close. It wouldn't surprise me if SMU beats them, but I think ECU keeps this game close. I think looking at the number, this number is covered the last 6 games out of 9. They've kept the first quarter close in the last 6 games out of 9. Could we say they could be due for a regression? Could SMU blow out the doors? It's possible, but I'm going with the number. I'm not betting the team. I'm going with the trend here. Kind of almost similar to looking at the Tomlin thing, kind of a little bit betting blind. Even though I've been watching SMU, I think they've been kind of a little bit of a letdown actually this year. But ECU gets up for these games for whatever reason. I think they once they get punched in the mouth, I think they can keep this game close. I love the hook here with the half point here in the first quarter. Give me ECU plus 3.5. All right, and that's just betting the number, right? I'm just betting the number and the trend here. No really big take on the side of plays and stuff like that. Defensively, they're actually kind of similar in terms of ranking. Obviously, offensively, SMU is definitely better from an offensive standpoint. I believe they're top 60, I think it was, or top 50. Let me double check that in total offense. And ECU's not that far behind. They just don't have the players. They're just not on the same level as SMU. But like I said, for whatever reason, these teams play. ECU gets up these games. Like I said, I went back and checked it because I really wanted to bet SMU in this game. That's really what I was looking. But when I started looking at the two sides and just the trend of what was betting, I saw that wow, ECU really stays up for these games. Let me bring it up on my side real quick. Here we go. So like I said, football series, ECU is 5-4. Like I said in the series, let me close this up. These are the scores: 52-38. ECU won last year. The year before that, 59-51. Year before that, 55-31. The year before that was 49-23 ECU. The year before that, 45-24. And then in Carolina, Greensville, Carolina, ECU is 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2 over their record. So, like I said, they play them tough for whatever reason. And this series goes back all the way to 2005. ECU, like I said, won last year, so there is some revenge factor here from SMU. But like I said, I think ECU is going to be up for this game. And give me ECU, man. Give me the Pirates. Like I said, to keep this game close in the first quarter, it might open up a little bit more. But give me ECU, betting the number here, betting the trend for ECU to stay up. Like I said, last 5 games, this number has hit. Is it due? Yeah, maybe. But I'm taking the chance that it's not. All right. Thursday
I
night
like
game.
it. That's a tough road trip, especially on a short week.
Yeah. And they're both coming off buys. So I
Yeah.
think ECU will be ready. You had 2 weeks to get ready for this game. I think they'll both be this game. I always say this to to Brent for my second best bet. Do you believe, Sharp?
Do you believe that?
Do you believe, Sharp? In Colorado versus Stanford, second best bet. Colorado's favorite minus 11, total is 60. I think this take is gonna shock you a little bit here. Not shock you as much, but I think I have a different side. Love Colorado on the teaser. I believe Travis Hunter is going to be playing this game, so that's huge news. I'll let you get your little breakdown. I'll let you get your breakdown too as well of what you think about what's going to happen from a defensive side. We had talked about it earlier. But when I look at this Colorado team, I talked about it before off camera. They kind of remind me of the Eagles a little bit. Not saying that they have star players like the Eagles, but just the way they do drives. They tend to have these long drives. It's really not super explosive. Like they have explosive players, but it's not like super explosive plays. So what we've known or been known to know about this team is that they have a horrific defense, a horrific rush defense. Shador gets beat up a lot back there. He's got to use his legs. He's not the most mobile quarterback, but he still is able to make plays, slide in the pocket, and able to do some things where he leads the league in nation. He leads the league in yards in passing. So I don't even know I don't know if you knew this. The Harper and Castellanos showed up in prime gear, Colorado gear for the Phillies game.
Yeah,
So
they did. That was cool.
yes, yeah, that was kind of dope. So, but when you look at these numbers of who they played, I'm looking at this total here. I like the under here. They obviously a lot of points, but look at the teams that they played from an offensive set. TCU, even though they lost a lot, first game of the year, shocker, they won. Bad defense, but TCU was also ranked. What were they ranked? 5th in the nation starting out beginning of the year.
I don't know about that high, but they were ranked for sure. 15th, maybe.
15th. Okay. Nebraska, really not that crazy of an offense. Colorado State, decent offense. Oregon, decent offense. USC, decent offense. And then they just played Arizona State where they just got by. I think Nebraska, Arizona State, and Stanford, probably Stanford a little bit lower than those two, but in the same boat. I'm not sure if Colorado's going to blow them out. But even if they do, I don't think Stanford's going to score that many points. So if they blow them out, it could be 33-28 or 33-20 or something like that. I don't think they're going to score 60 points collectively total. So my line and my take, my second best bet, give me Colorado. Uh, Give me Colorado and Stanford under 60 at home in Colorado. That place should be rocking like normal. And when Hunter coming back gives them a little bit of boost, especially defensively, where Stafford really doesn't can't pass anyway. They still doing that dual quarterback thing in Stanford, kind of going with both guys.
They
Or is
yes,
Daniels
they
hurt?
are.
Daniels hurt? I know got hurt, like he hurt his head, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good question. He might be out. If he's in concussion protocol in college, usually you're out 2 weeks. It's rare in college you come back the same week.
yeah, yeah. So for my second best bet, give me under 60 Colorado versus Stanford. I believe you got a bet on this one too, bro.
I do. So I've been sitting here thinking of ways to bet this, and instead of taking 11, I am going to have Colorado on my crossover teaser. If you've been following the pod, you know I've been pretty successful when I picked 2 college games, crossed it over with 2 NFL games. Colorado is going to be in my teaser. I love everything you said. I do think Stanford's had a couple tough games in a row. I mean, they got blasted they by Oregon, and then they came off a Heartbreak City at home, losing to Arizona, a game they probably thought they could have won. Yep. Now they are coming off a bye, so they probably did get right. So that's the one thing about their quarterback is coming off a bye, college does not disclose injuries. So that'll be a total game time decision. But regardless of their quarterback situation, here's what I like. Stanford has not scored more than 23 points this season. Not once. Not when they were fully healthy. And now you're catching Colorado off a bye, essentially, in that they've got their best player totally rested now. Travis Hunter's back. And here's where I think the biggest advantage is. If Travis Hunter truly does play, if anyone's been watching Colorado the last couple weeks, there's a 5-star freshman that's truly coming. His name is Cormani McLean. If you watch them line up, dude, he could run stride for stride with Zachariah Branch of USC, and that kid's a track star. He was running stride for stride with him. So if you've got Cormani McLean now, an instant impact freshman on one side, and Travis Hunter on the other side, dude, Stanford's not going to pass, and they're just going to be forced to run in a tough road environment. And I'm going over the numbers right now. I agree with you. The total's off. Stanford's team total's 23.5. That does not make sense to me. I love the under here. Under Stanford team total 23.5. I don't care if they have both their quarterbacks, one quarterback. If this is Travis Hunter and Cormani McLean side by side, dude, you better be Washington if you think you're going to pass on them. So I think this is a 3-unit bet here. I think this is going to be low scoring. This goes in line with you. I just don't see how Stanford scores.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing that I'm somewhat worried about is Colorado scoring 40, like running it up. That's the only thing that's a little bit worried for me on the 60. And then Colorado's defense is trash, so if they're up big, then Stanford might pick at it. That's the only thing. So I do like your side because it coincides with what I'm talking about. I just don't see these two teams scoring 60. I just don't.
And here's my thing. Like, I think the Shedeur Sanders Heisman hype's gone, right? Like, that was a cool story the first month. But that kid's not going to New York, right? He's not going to New York. He's not going to finish in the top 4
Who's in New York? Who's in New York right now? Bo Nix.
Williams. Oh, I think it would be. It would literally be Drake May, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, Caleb Williams.
Not the running back from Texas, Brooks?
No, the loss knocked him out. And right now, Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards and J.J. McCarthy are probably splitting votes, the way I see it.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, for sure.
You kind of throw them out. And maybe – and I would say, honestly, after Red River rivalry and the season he's had, I mean, if Dylan Gabriel keeps it up, he'll be the dark horse.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like the take. I wish that was a 24. 24, love it at 24.
Yeah, I do too, but I just don't think they know. That's a teaser line, but I also think it's not going to hit. Like, They scored 23 against them. I just think my handicap in this is solely based off the fact that if you're giving me a healthy Travis Hunter and a Cormani McClain that's figuring it out, like you're talking about the best corner duo in the country, hands down.
Yeah, I agree. And it'd be interesting if they play him like they typically do, right, with Hunter. Do they ease him back in? Does he get like a couple plays on offense? Does he go
Yeah.
full defense? Because like we talked about before, his biggest impact that we saw, now maybe because it was skewed because of the teams that they played, but his biggest impact was on offense. It really wasn't defensively impact. Like he was a offensive impact for them. So does he even play both ways again is the question, right? Because they had some heavy hitters, in the beginning where they needed him to do that. So they might not need that for Stanford. So
I agree. And and Shedeur Sanders, like kind of what I was saying is I don't think Shedeur Sanders is going to New York anymore. And I think he's probably coming back. Like, I just think this is too loaded at the top of an NFL draft.
Yeah. He's coming back for another
So
year.
he's got to come back, right? And ride it out with Cormani, Hunter, and try to
Mhm.
do something special with his brother Shiloh. So
Yeah, I think he definitely comes back.
I don't
sure.
think they'll run up the score. Like early in the season, they were keeping Shedeur in, like you talked about in some of those blowouts, risking him getting whacked because he was chasing highlights and they were building a brand. Well, that's kind of gone. Now it's like, hey, let's get this win and get our guys out.
Yeah, I agree. And they lower themselves to the level of somewhat of a competition. They rise themselves. Obviously, they got blown out at Oregon, but TCU they came up. Nebraska, Colorado State. It was just a dogfight, in-state rivalry game. That is what it is. And then they had Oregon and USC, but Arizona State kind of came down, and I see the same trend with Stanford. Not too much looking at the look ahead at UCLA, but kind of like you were saying, it's just the game flow seems like it's going to be a more of a low scoring game. I don't expect this to be some like comeback all firing on all cylinders like that. And that's just not the way they play in my head. All right, cool.
Agreed.
All right, baby. Let's see what else we got here. Let's keep going down the list here. Let me know when to stop if you got another player, another game to talk about. I think my next game is Michigan and Indiana. Oh, it is a 12 o'clock game. I guess we go right with it then. For my next best bet, Michigan, Indiana. Michigan is favored by 1 million. Minus 33. Totals 45.5. They don't even got the goddamn money line up because it would be too silly. Because you know why? Everybody would do money line Michigan and Georgia. You know what I mean? Like that's really why they didn't put that up there. It's too much exposure for people to do that because people do got money here to drop. But I got an interesting take here for you, and it's risky, super risky, and it's another bet based off the trend. All right. I know this Michigan team, and I said this before. I feel like this Michigan team is one of the better Michigan teams, and I feel that they are the most complete team in football to me. And they have dominated this series. Simply dominated this series. They played 71 times, 61-10. How long's Harbaugh been in Michigan? Are we going 5 years, 6 years?
No, it's
it longer
8
than
years.
that?
9.
8 years?
Yeah, 9. Yeah.
9 years. Only lost to Indiana once in that tenure. But here's the kicker. Since 2006, Indiana has at least scored 10 points in every game. So we're going back 17 years. And the last time Indiana got blanked in Michigan was October 14th, 2000. So, with that being said, I am going with the Hoosiers over 5.5 points. Team total. Just give me one tutty, baby. Just give me one. Find one touchdown. Don't get blanked. That's all I ask. Or 2 field goals. Right? Don't get blanked. I was looking to take Michigan this game because it was really, I felt like there was no other way to bet this. But when I started doing my research, I was like, Indiana really has scored. And then remember, like, this team is a seasoned team, right? This team is offensive line, juniors and seniors, skill guys, juniors and seniors. Is McCarthy's a junior? JJ is a junior or redshirt sophomore?
He's
Red shirt.
yeah, I think he is a redshirt sophomore.
Sophomore.
Yeah, redshirt. He's the same as Kyle McCord, so yeah, redshirt sophomore.
Okay. But for the most part, these teams have seen each other, played against each other, at least last year and the year before, and Indiana was able to score a touchdown. So, let's go Hoosiers! Over 5.5, my best bet, Indiana Hoosiers. Over 5.5. Let's go. Let's go.
Man, I love it.
Sharp. You scared to take it with me?
I feel like no, because I feel like we're gonna be cheering on the same damn touchdown late in the game for both our bets. Because I've got Indiana in a teaser to plus 46. I mean, well, I can rattle off some of my other teams at the end when we get to it, but I mean, like you just talked about it, the over under is 45.5. The total is 45.5, and you're giving me Indiana plus 46 in a super teaser. Come on, man. Come on, man. Me and you are just going to be – you know what's going to happen. This game's going to be 46-0 and me with like 4 minutes left, and me and you are going to be begging for that random touchdown to be 46.
Yeah, just give me one. Just give me one random. I need it. I need it to win this bet. I feel like this
sloppiest.
Go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead. We're on the same page.
I was going to say, I feel like this is, out of the bets I have, I feel like this is the best bet, which is crazy to say. Because I'm just looking at it, I'm like, damn, right, Indiana really scored. You know, like, it's good. And I mean, we're going back to, like, some real good defenses, too, right, over Michigan's years. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm like, damn, like, yo, we might have, this thing's got some life. This is a gem. This is a gem that, you know, most people won't bet. It's like that Jake Elliott bet. Like, really?
Exactly.
So, you know, I really feel about this bet. And you know what? You just talked me into it, Sharp, without even talking me into it. Give me 2 units on the Hoosiers. On the Hoosiers. Give me 2 units on the Hoosiers. This is going to be a 2-unit play for me. I think this is my best bet of the goddamn day. I really do.
Yeah.
That
game's gonna be 42-0. Everyone's gonna be like, why is Nate watching Michigan versus Indiana?
42-0 with 3 minutes left. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's hilarious. That's funny.
Nate's gonna be like, hey, turn the volume up.
That's go.
Funny, man. Hey,
let's go.
This
Hoosiers.
Is that kind of week, man. Like I talked about on the preview, this is gonna be jumping in the trash kind of week, man. This is There's either coin flip games or there's massive spreads. So you're either taking a super public side and you're taking a big favorite, or you're going to do what me and Moss are doing and you're jumping in the trash.
I'm definitely digging for this one. This one was definitely dug in the trash. But we're going to pull it out though, y'all. We're going to definitely pull it out. All right. So we have we didn't get to the other games some of the other bigger games. Excuse me. Do you have what time is your game? Because I think my last game is a late game, and then I have a teaser. Do you have any other 1 o'clock, 2 or 3 o'clock games on like straight plays? Or you want to go right to? We could talk about Oregon, Washington real quick. That's a 3:30. That's a huge game.
Yeah, that's 2:30. Yeah.
Yeah. So me and Sharp kind of talked about this game. This is Oregon at Washington. Huge game. Bo Nix, Penix, nothing but scoring. I have this in one of my teasers. But just talking about the game straight for those who are listening. And make sure if you are listening, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification button. Come bet with your boys. Come jump on the goddamn money train. Tell a friend to tell a friend. All my little sayings I say to get you guys to kind of keep following us. and keep helping build the brand. It is because of you that we are getting as big as we are. So let's keep the train moving and keep it going because we definitely love what we do. We put the work in, we put the time in to make sure, like we said, we're after the Phillies game. It's almost 10-7 at night. We're still cooking to get you guys these plays. So appreciate all the love and all the support. But Sharp, talk to me about this game and how somebody looking to bet this game should be trying to handicap this game because, like me and you said, at a neutral field, it's probably still a pick. You can go -1, maybe Oregon or something like that. Total's probably right here. Line seems pretty sharp to where it should be. Line is not moving. I haven't really gone back to look at where money's coming in. I'll do that now when you're going through the handicap. But help people try to navigate how they should be looking at this game, why you're not, why you're off this game, and if you were a lean, take a side or advise somebody, where will you be looking to put some money at?
So the reason I don't have a super big feel in this game is a couple reasons. When I've been watching, we've got a large sample size now of these big Pac-12 matchups, right? We've seen
Yep.
Oregon State, Washington State. We've seen UCLA, Oregon State. And when the lines drop, the home team has been 3.5 or 4 point favorites every time, right? We talked about why is Washington State a 3.5 point underdog at home. Well, it turned out that line was right. So what threw me off about this line, this is the first time we have seen a flat 3. So what that tells me is on a neutral field, the books also think Oregon's better or this line would have opened at Washington -3.5. Like they would have put the hook on to the home team because that's how they've done it every single evenly matchup game in that conference this whole year without fail. So that tells me, I know doesn't sound like much, like, oh my gosh, what does a hook mean? Well, in my opinion, they're telling you that on a neutral field, they think Oregon's better. But I cannot trust Bo Nix on the road. I just feel like this is going to be too tough an environment. The weather's not terrible yet. And I just don't think that this game is conducive to how Oregon needs to play. If this were windy and wet, I would love Oregon. I think Oregon's a better run team, and I think they're better at stopping the run. I think they're a more complete team than Washington. But Washington's like the Buffalo Bills or the Miami Dolphins in the NFL. They're a Mike Tyson-style football team. They just are bombs away, and when they get a lead, especially at home, they're going to force Bo Nix into keeping up, and he's going to make a fatal mistake.
So looking at the numbers here, the big jump, it looks like the line opened at most books. Well, the line opened up. Actually, no, I'm looking at this wrong. My fault. Line opened up obviously super early. It was at 3. Money line got up to almost -184 Washington. Then somebody bet it down probably a couple of days ago. On the 8th, got down to -2.5. But that's where it looks like the resistance happens from from my kind of dorky betting guys who like numbers and really kind of get into the weeds of it. The resistance came on the 8th where the line got back up to -3. Total open, it was at 70. So somebody was hitting, looks like somebody was hitting Washington
The under.
and the over. No, the over, because it opened at 67.5 and it got bet all the way up to 70.5.
Yeah,
And
well, and now it's come down to 67.5.
Yeah. Now
Right.
it came down, so the resistance, and now it's kind of back to kind of where it was normal. Money line got all the way up to almost 2-1, -184 for Washington on the line move, but now it seems like it's kind of steady, and that tells me kind of earlier bettors who saw the look ahead line. That's probably a lot of more professional money, some sharp money coming in, syndicate money. Maybe some smart, recreational bettors jumping the line early, and now it's getting it kind of evened out, and now you got your regular kind of action where it seems like it's 50-50. It looks like some books have it at 2.5 if you can find that, so you're gonna have to shop around. I haven't seen it there at 2.5. just yet. But like you were saying, the fade here or the handicap is to fade Bo Nix on the road. But the interesting thing about this, I was looking at this. Oregon's won. Uh, the Oregon's won the last 3 out of the 4, and 2 of those were on the road.
Yep.
So which is interesting.
But
Kind of take there.
Bo Nix has only been there 2 years. Before that, he was at Auburn.
Okay. Okay.
So, but this is year 2 for Bo Nix. Last year they played this game in at Oregon. So that was he was at home. And then and to me that's part of the handicap. Like I do think Oregon's better in the trenches. Like to me this is like if you were to remove the QBs and ask me who the better team is, it's Oregon. Right? That's how I feel. They're the more physical team. They can run when you know they've got to run. And Washington is just pass, pass, pass. Washington's not great at stopping the run, and they are not that good at running, right? So if like they're one of those teams that on first down, they're like the Eagles sometimes. When you're like, dang it, run the ball on first down and then throw. Well, sometimes on first down, they go for a chunk play, and if you don't get it, now it's 2nd and 10, right? And you've got to get that 5-yard run to stay on schedule. Well, Washington does that. They like come out on first down, and if they don't get that 8-yard completion, like sometimes they can stall out. And this will be their first real defense. So it's just hard for me to handicap this game because I want to take Oregon, except for in big games, I know how Bo Nix is on the road, and Washington's going to be a really tough place to play, especially if Washington gets the ball first and scores.
Yeah. No, I like how you broke down the game. I like the handicap. I just wanted to make sure that we took a look at this game. I don't have a side here. The trend that I saw in the numbers was that the under in the last 6 games, the under is 4-2. So that might be a side to even look at. Maybe even put this in the super teaser and tease it up, get the 13 point, and get the what's that 80 and a half.
80.
Yeah, 80 and a half.
The only thing that would kill you is like going to overtime 38-38. Like then you're probably doomed.
Yeah. You're probably doomed.
Then you're probably doomed.
I love that. You're probably doomed. That's not it. I got to change. You're doomed. It's over. So happy betting for those betting on the Oregon stop Washington game, but from your boys from the MoneyPot podcast and MoneyPot betting show, this is a pass for us. All right. Let's keep it cooking. Let's see if we see any more games here we can kind of give sides on.
Well, I do like that. There's that 2:30 game. It might be a trap. This line doesn't make sense to me. Kansas, Oklahoma State.
Was that? Did I pass it? Kansas.
Yeah, it's 3 games down from Oregon.
Okay. 3 games down. Okay, here we go. Yeah, go talk to us. Kansas -3 total.
So I just don't understand this. Yeah, I don't. This line makes absolutely no sense to me. I really don't care who the quarterback is for Kansas. Like, obviously, there's a difference between Daniels and Bean, but not so much in this matchup. And so, like, Kansas's only loss was them getting blown out by a good Texas team. And now everyone's going to remember Texas team that had 3 turnovers, lost to OU. Well, if their quarterback plays a little cleaner, they beat OU, and they're the number 1 team in the country, right? Like, football's a game of inches half the time. And Texas had 3 turnovers in a game where their rival had none, and it came down to the last drive, right? So perception's going to be OU's way better than Texas. Quinn Ewers stinks, when in reality, Texas was the better team. They just played poorly that day. And the only loss is Kansas playing a good Texas team that was rolling. They caught Quinn Ewers on a good day. Well, Oklahoma State is terrible this year. I mean, terrible. I don't like saying that, but there's a lot of things going wrong in their program, and they had a gut check win. I will say that. Gundy rallied the troops. They did have a gut check win last week, but this is exactly why I want to fade them. Like, they're not going to do this twice. This is exactly why I like the Eagles versus the Jets this week. Like, the Jets are not a team that's going to come off an emotional win against Denver, come back home, and then beat one of the best teams in the league. Sorry, not happening. Well, Oklahoma State, same situation. they're not going to come off an emotional win, their first good win in a month, maybe 2 months, come back home, play a Kansas team that's rolling, and bounce back off the floor. This is a short line. I don't understand it. This line is only this way because it's a historical trend of Kansas does terrible in Stillwater. Well, we saw that earlier this year. Remember how bad Cal, US, or who was it that went to Cal? Was it Washington never plays Cal good, right? Cal always has Washington's number.
Washington State went to UCLA, right?
Well, no, we were talking about Cal always covers big spreads. Maybe it was Oregon. Cal to cover big spreads versus Oregon. Remember, they always keep it close.
Yeah.
And
right.
Everything said take Cal. Well, this was the 1 year. Well, everything says take Oklahoma State. The last 10 years, this is a bad spot for Kansas, and that's all this line is going off of. I think this is a great spot for Kansas to prove they're a true top 25 team. Oklahoma State is a bottom barrel Big 12 team. At this point, they're just playing for Red River, or they're just playing Bedlam and to kind of upset OU from their season. That's all they have to play for. They're slowly going to start looking ahead to that game. This line makes no sense to me. I have Kansas power rated -8. So this is 5 points of value. This is a 3-unit play for me. Like, give me Kansas -3 all day. And we have the push. Like, you're not even giving us -4, where if they, win by a field goal, we lose the bet. You're giving us 3. Like, this is either a trap or the worst line of the year.
Yeah, we said that last week, and we got burned a little bit. But I actually agree. I agree with your handicap. But the one thing that I think I see it a little bit differently is that the line. This is a Kansas line, and I think that it supports your handicap because it's such a bad spot for Kansas because they historically have not done well in Stillwater. So the fact that they're still favored because of that trend, I think is baked into the line, and it's a Kansas line, right? If it was 3.5, then I think it would be kind of Oklahoma State line. But the fact that
totally agree
at 3, it's definitely a Kansas line. So I totally agree with your handicap. I'm looking at the numbers just a little bit differently, but it makes a lot of sense. I mean, Oklahoma State has what? Who they play? Central Arkansas, I think. No, they beat Central Arkansas. They lost to South Alabama and Iowa State. Kansas State is not who we thought they are.
No, they're terrible, and they beat them at home on a Friday night. That's my thing. Like, they beat a bad Kansas State team, and if you watch that game, like, they didn't beat them, but like Kansas State had them Kansas State gave the game away as much as Oklahoma State won it, and that was on a short week. I just like Kansas is not Kansas State. Like, not even close.
No, they're not. They're not. They had 3 turnovers. I'm looking at the numbers. They had 3 turnovers in that game. One was a pick 6 that happened in the first half.
Yeah, exactly.
Oklahoma State beat them up pretty good, but Oklahoma State only had 1 touchdown. Like, one touchdown. Everything else was field goals.
And this is a Kansas team that scores 35, 40 on everyone not named Texas.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I like the bet. I would because we got bit so much last week, I would put him in a teaser, a monster teaser.
I get that. Yeah.
Just because I wouldn't want to get caught up, I would do a monster teaser with Kansas, get them to the 10.5. I think that makes a lot of sense. Just because we got bit in the ass, and then my teaser hit for that Washington State last week over that 10.5 number. So I'm gonna.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't take Washington State with you guys. I was like, man, that line to me just totally stood out as a trap because it was like, how are they a home dog? Like, if they were home -3.5, I would have been on it with you guys. But when that line opened at +3.5, dude, my jaw dropped. I was like, dude.
No, they were in UCLA.
They're telling it.
Were they in UCLA? I don't think they were home.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It still was a jaw dropper. We were just like, whatever. If it happens, it happens. And guess what? It fucking happened.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? But we saw it though. We just ignored it.
We did.
We just ignored it. We definitely.
Well, I took it in the teaser play hit.
Yeah, the teaser hit. All the teasers hit for sure.
I just paired it with Colorado State, and they got the fucking doors blown off. Excuse my language.
So I mean, we've been cursing all night, Sharp. You're good.
Yeah, so this is a big play. I mean, I love this play. Sorry. And like I was saying, I could see if someone's saying, hey, Kansas is looking ahead to OU because that is their next matchup, but they have a bye week next week. So they're not looking to OU. They're looking to their bye.
Yep. So -3 units. What was the other straight play you had? It was on
under Stanford 23.5, 3 units versus
right.
Colorado team total.
That's right. Under 23.5, 3 units. Update my notes. All right, cool. All right, let's keep it moving. Got more bets, more plays to give out as we do. The guy C Sharp is back in the building. You asked for him, so I had to put in the call down to Tulsa. So come on, Sharp. They're looking for you. 3:30 games. I don't have any sides for any of the other games. I thought you talked about Air Force. I'm not sure you're still on them or you're off.
Yeah, man, I am. There's a couple things that concern me a little bit in that game, but I do like. I really do like Air Force. Like this is a total matchup play. Like so, like Wyoming they tend to like to play up temp. Like this is like a yin and a yang. One team likes to run, and one team likes to pass. And I really think everything's going to favor the way that home team's going. But at 10.5 right now, man, you lose the hook. I don't love that.
Yeah. No. Okay. No.
I do think they're really good in a teaser. Like we can talk about a couple games. Like I was starting to think like this. The more and more I was looking at it, I think the lines are making a little more sense. Like at first, I just thought 10 was a little low. Same with the Wisconsin game. But the more and more I was kind of running the numbers, I could see it spitting out 10 and not 14. So I'm thinking the safer play. I will have a super teaser, but there are a couple 10-point favorites that I'm just going to tease in a 3-team 10-point just to get to win. And I am going to put Air Force.
So we were just talking about super teasers. We were talking about Air Force. We kind of like him in the teaser, something that Sharp was looking at. I do have one more play. Best bet. But before we go, another huge game here, Sharp. USC versus Notre Dame. We had talked about it a little bit earlier. I wanted a piece of this game, but with the weather coming in here, not sure how to look at this game. Obviously, USC can score with the best of them. This is Notre Dame's coming off. They lost last week, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Or
tough loss. Yep, they lost to Louisville.
Yeah, it was a tough loss to Louisville.
Yeah.
Oregon State. USC is 5-0, kind of really mowing through people, putting up 40, 43, 56, 66, 48 points. But they're going to run into a Notre Dame team that already has 2 losses, so they can't. Like I'm assuming that cuts them out of the playoffs for the most part. They like I think you said this maybe 2 weeks ago when you were on the show. No, actually, no, you said this in the chat. In college football, you can't lose. Like you can't lose in college football, and unfortunately, they did. So they had a gauntlet, right? Ohio State, Duke, Louisville, and now USC, and unfortunately, they're on the losing side of that gauntlet as of right now. But you said the weather's going to be bad in this game. Now, I haven't followed USC enough to know how they do in bad weather games, but I know that defense is still suspect. And I know Notre Dame, one of the better rushing teams in the country. And you already said it already, kind of what your handicap before with Air Force, kind of a passing team versus now a rushing team. How do you see this game playing out? Is the line looks like kind of a Notre Dame line right here under the 3 here at -2, but I think that's right where it should be. When I first looked at this game and I thought in my head, my gut feel was I like USC here to win this outright in South Bend was my gut feel. But when you told me about the weather, I kind of, obviously kind of fell back because obviously that neutralizes what USC does well. But talk to me about this game. I mean, Hartman's played well, but he hasn't played well enough and that's where I kind of see where the tipping point is. Like I think Williams can play and rise his game up, but I don't think Hartman is. Like Hartman is what he is. He needs a good team around him to win. Williams can improv and make things happen, and Hartman can't. So that's why I was leaning towards USC. But yeah, talk to me about this game, man. Line's at -2.5. Total is at 60.
Yeah, this is a tough game to handicap. This is styles make fights, right?
Yeah,
And so if you look at USC's defense, they rank only one metric are they kind of above average, and it's sacking the other team's quarterback because that's literally all they do. They don't respect the run. They don't really cover anybody. All they do is send blitzes or just rush from a wide nine alignment, and all they bank on is making a negative play, a couple series here and there, and then Caleb Williams will do the rest. Their defense is atrocious. They cannot stop anybody from running on them if they tried. And this is going to be the very first team that is just going to do nothing but try to run on them. You talked about it. Yes, Sam Hartman's a good QB, but here's the problem. Sam Hartman is a trailer and Caleb Williams is a truck. Caleb Williams can drag an offense that's struggling by making plays on his own. A left tackle can miss a block. He can make a defender miss, roll out, and make a cross-field throw that like Mahomes does, where you're like, man, how the hell do you see the running back all the way across the field like that and then hits him on a dime? Well, the problem with that is I think the weather is going to be like 15-mile-an-hour winds and rain. So I don't know. Like if you're banking on Caleb Williams being a magic man and beating a team that way, like Notre Dame's defense is legit. Like they played Duke hard. They played Louisville hard. They played Ohio State hard. It's just a war of attrition, and they're losing guys just to physical games week after week after week. And that's just hard to do. So, man, now they're back home. It feels like a must win or their season just goes really bad, really fast. That's why it's hard for me to bet this game. This is either going to be Caleb Williams, I'm winning Heisman, I'm that dude, like I'm going to put this team on my back and go Patrick Mahomes on you. Or this could be like the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where the other team's just running down my team's throat. And then when I get out there, there's pass rushers in my face left and right, and it's and there's just nothing I can do. So I could either see this game getting ugly and Notre Dame wins comfortably, or this is like back and forth, and Caleb Williams pulls a rabbit out of the hat. I think the only way you bet USC is if you're just a firm believer that Caleb Williams is that dude. That's the only way you bet it. Every other thing says stay away, take Notre Dame. Zachariah Branch is banged up, their best playmaker. I don't even know if he's going to play. Some say he is, some say he won't. But again, a speed receiver, it's hard for him to be effective if it's sideways raining. So, again,
stay away.
Stay away. Or, like I said, the spot says take Notre Dame. If you're a believer in Caleb Williams, it's kind of like you would take Patrick Mahomes as a short favorite, right? You just do it on principle. I don't do that because I don't trust college kids like I trust pros. But if the only way you'd be betting this game is if you're just a USC guy and you're just a Caleb Williams guy.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you said. And I am a Williams guy. I think he's just that good. But the rain does scare me off because I haven't seen him enough, and I don't know what he can do or that offense can do in the rain. And his best playmaker being hurt does not help. I just looked at that. It's going to be Notre Dame type football, windy, cold, and rainy. Like you said, northeast 18-mile-an-hour winds. So that's going to be it. That's tough sledding. That is tough sledding for any passer. So, but I'm sure they know that coming in, right? They're going to have to know that. So they might adjust. It looks like the total would be a good one to tease down, man. Raise that back up, especially with the rain. I'm surprised it's still that high, knowing that it's going to be cold and rainy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's why I don't think anyone knows what to do with this game because it's like Caleb Williams might be able to drag an offense to 30 in the rain, and then their defense might give up 30 in the rain just rushing. So it's like this game could still like it's so hard to handicap USC because their defense is so bad. Like
Yeah.
it'd be like giving Patrick Mahomes the Denver Broncos defense. Like he'd be in a different spot. Like he couldn't win 17-16 like he's won some of these games this year. Like everything would have to be 40-38, and he couldn't afford to play bad.
Yeah. Agree. All right, before we get to the teasers, I got one more best bet. It's this UCLA game, Oregon State Beavers. I'm taking the total here for my best bet. I know that the Beavers have played well of late. I think they just came off a really big win, and obviously, UCLA has come off one of their biggest win of the year. They're now ranked, beating Washington State. But when I look back here, I'm we bet last week's game almost blind. We just like, hey, Washington State is the best offense in the nation. And, we just, if they get cooled off by UCLA, then they do. Well, guess what? It happened, right? They got cooled off by UCLA. So I started looking at UCLA more and just noticed that this defense has played extremely well, and they just don't give up a lot of points. Like even before, they're running the gauntlet right now. They probably should have beat Utah. Well, no, Utah's got the best defense in the nation. So that game Utah kind of handled, even though the score said a little bit differently.
And I think that was Dante Moore's first start. That was his first start as a true freshman, playing probably the best defense in the conference. That's asking a lot of any true freshman.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, and then not even that, they scored on a pick six too as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the UCLA defense is legit. Like it's
agree.
definitely it's really legit. I forget what's his name? A Hawaiian name.
Latu.
Yeah, right. Lie to you. That's what I heard.
Yeah. Latu. Yeah, and he's one of the best edge players in the country.
Exactly.
He is a first round pick. He's going in the
top
first
five.
round.
Yeah, top five in sacks this year so far in the nation. And then they're going to Oregon State to play the Beavers and to play DJ. Won't even try to say his last name. And a place that is tough to play in. It's always been tough to play there. And if you look at the scores at home, they're only average giving up less than 10 points. They're giving up 8 points per game at home. So I think this number's off. I don't see these teams scoring this many points with these type of defenses, one at the home field advantage, and then UCLA coming off a big win. Now I thought I liked Oregon State here. It is an Oregon State line because it's a nice fade spot for UCLA coming off a big win. So I get that. So if that's the case, UCLA is not going to be what they are. The team prompts are somewhat close, 30, 25. It's kind of right there in the number with 54. There's a point out there kind of on the over there, so you would probably maybe tend to the over if you like to do it like that. But I think the other way around, I think this is going to be a defensive battle. I like the under here, and I like the under straight. I wish I had the hook. Might have had the hook if I took it early. Actually, you know what? I'm going to buy the half a point here. Actually, no, I have it written down that it was 54.5. So this line must have dropped as we were doing the pod. But I'm going to buy the hook again just to protect myself a little bit here. I don't think this game is going to be that high scoring a game. I don't think either team's going to get in the 30s. Give me under 54.5.
Yeah, I like that. I agree. Kind of we were talking about, like the Pac-12 game, like with the Oregon-Washington. That's the one time they put it at 3. It's a perfect example of what we've been talking about. This is the Pac-12 and how they've been setting lines. The home team is a 3.5-point favorite. For some reason, Oregon's the only team that's not getting the hook. I don't know why. Washington's the only team not getting that extra hook as the home favorite. I don't know why, but that's just, if you're going to look at anything, looking at the board, that's the 1-3 that was kind of like a blinking light. Like, why is this not 3.5? So I agree with you 100% here. This line says take Oregon State. Dante Moore, first time he's ever played in Corvallis. I mean, this is a tough place to play. This is typically where good USC and good UCLA teams, their seasons go to die. It's just tough to make that trek up to Corvallis. It always has been for those California teams.
All right, so those are our best bets of the day with our straight.
I do want to say one more, because of the look ahead lines out. I do a couple minutes.
Oh
real quick.
Yeah, that's right. You did. Yeah, got it. Yeah.
I've been waiting all year for this line. This is going to be a 5-unit play. The only reason I'm not taking it for more than 5 units is because I'm also going to hit money line, and Penn State will be in some big teasers next week. I've been waiting on this line all year. I think this is Penn State's year. If you go back to our college preview show, Nate loved Penn State. I'm an Ohio State guy. He's a Penn State guy, so I see where he was kind of loving his team early. I had to see Drew Aller play first. Here's the thing about this matchup. 5 is too many points. Ohio State is just overinflated this year. They beat Notre Dame, but they probably should have lost to Notre Dame, right? It's one of those things. Like, you have Justin Fields, you have CJ Stroud. Eventually that next quarterback's just not going to be that dude. It just happens, right? At OU, they had Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Spencer Rattler, right? You just don't get 3. Like, you don't go from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Patrick Mahomes. You end up with Jordan Love. No disrespect, but that's just how life goes, and that's what Ohio State's at right now. Kyle McCord's a good player. He's not a great player. And they kind of overlooked Drew Aller. He's an Ohio kid. He wanted to be an Ohio State Buckeye. Well, they went out of state and went after a kid named Quinn Ewers. And we all know what happened. Quinn Ewers came to Ohio State, couldn't beat out C.J. Stroud, took his football home, ran home to mommy, went to Texas. We saw what's happened there. He's a good player, but that cost Ohio State Drew Aller. After the fact, they went back and were like, hey, Drew, what's going on? And he was like, F you, I'm going to Penn State. Well, I think there's hell to pay. I think he's going to take this game very, very personal. I don't think Ohio, for once in the last maybe 5-6 years under Ryan Day, I don't think this Ohio State offense is that good. Normally, when they can't run, they just bombs away and pass. Well, I don't think Emeka Egbuka is playing. I don't even think he's going to play versus Penn State. He is really banged up. He's very important. They're going to be able to roll coverage to Marvin Harrison and kind of maybe not take him out of the game, but slow him down. And I think Penn State's offense is actually better than Ohio State's offense this year. Yes, I think Ohio State's defense is slightly better than Penn State's defense, which I haven't said in a while. But I just think Drew Aller's that dude. I think he's the college version of Josh Allen, maybe a younger version of Drake May. I love Penn State +5. I think Penn State wins this game outright. I hate to say it as an Ohio State fan, but I think this year we lose to both Penn State and Michigan. We're just not physical enough. It is what it is. It's the truth. Give me Penn State +5 for 5 units.
With a serious motherfucking face.
I mean, I hate to, I just call it like it is. I love my Buckeyes. Last year was our year. It just didn't come together.
Yeah, I heard that. Love it. All right, let's go back. That is all the straight plays of the day. And we like to end it with our teaser plays that we have. I only have one, but I know you might have one or two. So Sharp, keep it moving. Let's go.
Yeah, so my first one's college only. I'm not going the super teaser route here because I don't think I need to. There's no sense in paying the 140 juice when I can just pick 3 numbers that are all similar. These teams are in similar spots, and I just like them. So kind of like what we just talked about, Colorado at home. It's -11. Instead of taking them outright, let's put them in a 10-point teaser. You get them down to -1. Essentially, we just need Colorado to win. The next bet you take, we just talked about, is kind of Air Force. I like them at home. I think styles make fights. I think they're going to be able to control the clock, limit Wyoming's possessions, and I think they're the better football team. I don't love them to cover 10.5, but teasing them down to -0.5, give me that all day long. I do think they're going to win outright. And then last but not least, Iowa stinks. Their offense stinks. I'm pretty sure there's quarterbacks now out. So, I mean, you took Michigan's starting quarterback. Yeah. McNamara's out.
Oh, I thought you meant the backup was out too. I was like, Jesus.
No, but I'm saying without you've seen without McNamara, like they were barely scoring. They were barely scoring with McNamara. You know their backup's bad. Now they're playing a Wisconsin team that's slowly but surely kind of looking like a Luke Fickell Wisconsin Cincinnati team. They're not going to let you score. They're not going to beat themselves, and they're going to rely on their run game and their home crowd. This is just tease them down. You get Wisconsin to a pick 'em. I usually don't do 5 units on my 10-point teasers. I usually like doing them on the super teasers, but this to me is a 5-unit teaser. I mean, I love these 3 here.
Yeah, it's just all of them to win, pretty much.
Exactly. You get Colorado, Wisconsin, Air Force. The only one you need to win by 2 is Colorado.
I like it. I like it.
And they're getting their best player back. I mean, it shouldn't be that difficult.
All right, let's see what it looks like for everybody real quick. 10-point teaser, minus 120, and there you go. Colorado to win, Air Force to win, Wisconsin to win. Nice. Nice. You got another one?
I do. Let me go to. Well, I do. So let me give you my. This is my crossover teaser, but I gotta do. Gotta do it now. Can't record it on the NFL show and miss some of these. It's college. We're digging in the trash here, folks. So this is one of those things we're taking. This is going to be hard to swallow, but we're taking 2 big favorites in the NFL. And we're going to tease them way down just to win, and we're taking 2 really trashy dogs in college, teasing them way up to cover. So this is going to be what I call an accordion bet. You take the opposite sides of both worlds. So in college football, this is a 4-team 13-point super teaser. In college, you're taking UMass, tease them up to plus 54.5. We just talked about it. I love Penn State, but come on. 54.5 in a college football game. Like if UMass loses 55-0, so be it. I don't really need to say much more about that. 55 in a college game, like, come on. And then we talked about it. I'm right there with you. We're both probably going to need that lonely Indiana touchdown to hit this bet. I'm teasing Indiana up off 33 to plus 46. The dang total's 45.5. Again, if somehow Penn State wins 55-0 and somehow Michigan wins 47-48-0, well, it wasn't my day, folks. So lock those 2 up. That just feels too good to be true. And then you go over to the NFL in my crossover, and it's really simple. The lines moved like crazy. It opened at 3, but it doesn't matter. I don't think Deshaun Watson's going to play, which is why that line is running. I think San Francisco's made it very clear they're the best team in the NFL. I think even an Eagles fan that's taken their midnight green or Kelly green colored glasses off can see the Niners are a little better than we are right now. It's pretty obvious. They look like a team that's quarterback makes $800,000, and we look like a team whose quarterback makes $40 million. And there's a couple differences in players. That's just all it is. So you take San Fran, you tease them. They're going to win. They're going to win easily. If this is Dorial Thompson-Robinson versus San Francisco's defense, I mean, folks, I don't need to say anything more, right? And then you take – Carolina's terrible. Every metric says they're the worst offense in football when Bryce Young's there. They might be the 30th ranked offense if you give them Andy Dalton, but they're rolling with Bryce Young. Miami is a video game when they're not playing the Bills. Just tease Miami to win. They're not losing to the Carolina Panthers. I'm sorry, they're not.
Yeah, I agree for sure. Yeah, I like it. These
5-unit play on my crossover. You know I love going big on my crossovers. I haven't lost a crossover yet. Fingers crossed.
Come on, Hoosiers.
Come on, dude. I feel like that's what we're going to be. I just have a feeling you and I are going to be watching that game.
Hoosiers, baby.
Just praying for 7 points in the fourth quarter.
I'm praying for the first quarter. I'm praying for the first quarter.
You.
A sneaky first quarter touchdown.
You're good. I'll take it too. If Indiana scores the first, if Indiana is up 7-0, they're going to cover 46. So me and you will be jumping for joy.
Yeah, for sure. I have just one teaser here. I actually am following. I actually had one bet, but I like your Wisconsin take. So this is a 3-team, 10-point teaser. I'm going Wisconsin here. I love that side. I love that take. I'm on the other side of your big teaser. I am taking Penn State here, bringing them down to 20. Is it 21? It should be 21, but it might have went to 33. Where is Penn State?
Well, if you're doing,
Oh, they're 41. Oh,
yeah, you're 41. You're down to that's what I'm saying. I got them at 54.5, teasing them up.
I still like it at 31. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
Penn State's rolling. My only thing with taking that way is, remember, you got Penn State looking ahead to Ohio State. That would be my only thing, is if there is a time to take Aller out and make sure he doesn't get like a high ankle sprain in the fourth, it's probably this game.
Yeah, but I think when they do that, they'll be up 35-0. That's when they'll do that. They won't do that at 28.
Oh, you're probably right.
Yeah, it'll be 30 or 40 points
Agreed.
when they do that. So, obviously always a backdoor possible, but I like 31.5 in the big house. And then I think this has been kind of even you've jumped on board a little bit. I've been watching, and this has been Diddy's darling team this year, Texas State. ULM is horrific, and Texas State at home puts up 40 points. Give me Texas State to win by a touchdown, -6 teaser. Texas State's only lost one game this year, and it was a tough game that they could have won. I forget who it was. I think it was like 2 weeks ago, or 2 to 3 weeks ago, earlier in the year where they won. But this team puts up points.
Oh, I think they lost I think their only loss is to a Power 5 team.
Was it a Power 5 team?
I think so. Yeah.
I gotta double check. But I think this team, just on the scoring alone, the quarterback has been playing phenomenal. It's in Texas State. Where is that?
No, they lost. Sorry, they lost week 1 to UTSA.
Yeah,
UTSA.
And they actually just lost. They lost to the Raging Cajuns, actually.
Yeah, they did.
I thought they won. I thought they won last week. Oh wow.
It was I think it was a late play.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. They were up 30-21, and they gave up 2 back-to-back touchdowns in the fourth. So they were actually winning that game. And then the Raging Cajuns kind of came back and beat them. That was a tough loss too. That was on the road, but they come back home. To me, pissed off. UL Moreau is horrific. There's no way that they don't, keep this game. Their starting quarterback is a turnover machine. Finley is a problem. Their offense in UNL Moreau, they're only averaging 133 passing, 192, rushing. Obviously big rushing yards, but they can't move the ball through the air. On the other side, you have 300 and 200, just an offensive juggernaut. Top 7, I want to say. In terms of offensive efficiency and offensive, in the nation, almost averaging 500 yards. In San Marcos, Texas, Bobcat Stadium. Yeah, give me Texas State, Bobcats to win by a touchdown, -6. That is my 3-team 10-point teaser. Wisconsin, Penn State, and Texas State. I'm working on a super teaser, but I haven't put it together yet. Some of your plays look good, but you're doing the crossover. I'm probably gonna jump on that Penn State and Penn State money line. I don't know why it's -5. I don't understand that.
I know. I totally agree. I don't. I'm an Ohio State guy, and they're just inflated this year. I don't know.
It's weird.
I think it's going to be low scoring though. When that under comes out, I'm going to hit that under too.
Yeah.
I think it'll be defense dominated. It'll be both defenses dominate, and I think it'll come down to a QB, which QB can make the most out of nothing kind of game.
For sure. All right, everybody. I want to thank you guys for joining us. We will have the NFL show later, more likely tomorrow, or no, actually, the NFL show is gonna be a little bit later, Friday. But I'll get these videos out. And if you're still with us or you just got to the end, make sure, hey, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the follow button. Show your boys that you've been following, playing the plays. Hey, and if you win some money, let us know. Love to see video receipts or ticket receipts. Love to see people. I get texts all the time like, yo, where are the plays at? I'm getting texts late. Yo, you done yet? So this week a little bit off week, but I'll make sure I'll get them out for you. Sharp, you got anything else?
Man, happy for the Phillies. If you are going to tail my crossover teaser, I will say take it now. Like, go do it now, because that San Francisco line is zooming. Like, it would not surprise me if that thing finishes at 10. Don't wait till Saturday morning to make this crossover bet, or you might find a totally different Niners number.
I hear that. I hear that. So listen to the man, C Sharp. Make sure you guys jump on the money train. That's my man, C Sharp. I'm Moss Money. This is MoneyPot. This is MoneyPot betting. Happy betting. Go Phil.
Let's close it out tomorrow, Phillies. Ring that bell, baby. Come on.
If you're seeing this video right now, that means you made it to the end. So congratulations. You are now almost officially part of the money team.
MoneyPot.
How do you become a part of the money team? If you're new to the channel, you have to hit the subscribe button. We want to blow this brand up. It's not me versus you or us versus them. It's us versus the sports book, us versus the bookman, aka the boogeyman. So make sure you're on the winning side and the winning team. I got bonus content up here for you guys to choose from. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. This is Moss Money. This is MoneyPot. This is MoneyPot betting.